Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I'm Willie Bragg. I had another video that I was going to play, and I'm going to delay that till Tuesday because something came to my attention that I think is, to me, is more important than the Donald Trump verdict, which I will be talking about in a couple of days because I really am bored to tears with Donald Trump. So I actually I will talk about it because I guess it's technically important to do so, but I'm personally not interested in that trial one way or the other. Although I do have a perspective on it. So, hey Warren, how are you doing today? This better be good. I'm missing a hot Baltimore marathon. I will try not to disappoint. So, and I hope everybody's having a great evening. As I said, I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm off on Sundays, but I slept all day long. So, and that explains also that as well. So here I am making excuses as I normally do at the beginning of every video. Unprofessional on my part. So I got to work on that. What do y'all think? So, Mexico. Today is June the 3rd, right now as we speak. But yesterday, June the 2nd, Sunday, was election day in Mexico. And Claudia Sheinbaum was elected as president. And she's going to be the first female president elected in Mexico. And, which in itself Yeah, I call that positive. I mean, it's a good thing, and I hope that one day the United States will elect a female president too. I just hope she'll be a good female president. But in our history, we haven't had a good tracking record of even good male presidents. So what can you say? So, but United States is basically known for its negative exceptionalism in every front. So it was down to a three-way race between uh, Claudia Sheinbaum, and I cannot pronounce her name. Zakiel, I can't even begin to. I'll pronounce her last name. Galvez was her opponent, and Jorges Menez. This is terrible. I'm half Hispanic, and some of these things I can't pronounce. So anyway, those were her two main challengers. The National um, Regenerational Movement was one of the political parties that was in the coalition with Claudia Sheinbaum, which is currently her political party today. And she was in that party was in coalition with another party, the PT, which is the Labor Party, and there is a Green Party that was also involved with the coalition. Her rival candidate, the Galvez, was with it's called the Broad Front. It's called the Broad Front for Mexico, and it included the National Action Party, and surprisingly, two political parties that were known to be center left in its past. I don't know what they're doing in this coalition, conservative coalition. One of them, the Party for PRI, Party for Revolutionary Institution, is part of that coalition. Very corrupt party, probably, in my opinion, very similar to the Democrats here, but maybe even more like the Democrats than the Democrats themselves here. And the Party for Democratic Revolution, which was initially a left-wing split from the PRI. And both the PRI and the PDR belong to the Socialist International. So that just kind of makes for a weird situation there. Now, prior to joining the National Registration Movement, Claudia Sheinbaum did belong to the Party for Democratic Revolution. There was also the Citizens Movement, which was kind of more like a centrist political party, but still kind of lean in a center-left direction. But I don't know that much about them. So suffice to say, that's basically what happened as a result. I tried looking for the election results from the election itself, and I could not find anything that, as far as the vote counts is concerned. But I guess we're one day into it, and the finals results will be coming up and all of that. But I do know with the outcome and everything. So I feel like my information is a little sloppy, just sharing what I'm just share with you. And for that, I apologize. But anyway, but there are some reactions from Twitter, and I'll go mention some of the reactions from some of our friends. And we'll start with Ben Norton, who used to work with the Gray Zone. He's on his own now. He says basically Mexico's next president is Claudia Sheinbaum, a left-wing politician, scientist with a PhD in energy engineering. She was the governor of Mexico City and a leftist of the Morena Party of the current president, Almo. Results being counted, but she's clearly won in a landslide. So that is, I mean, the landslide thing is definitely a positive development, for damn sure, without a doubt. So, um, and a little more detail coming from Fiorella Isabel, who is a geopolitical analysis for RT in Russia, co-host for the Combo Couch, and this is what she has to say here. Give me a moment. Polls have closed in Mexico in an election plagued by long lines in the country, and especially for those voting abroad. Breaking update. It appears Claudia Sheinbaum of the Morena Party has effectively clinched this victory. Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador is leaving office with an 80% approval rating. He'll be replaced by either Claudia Sheinbaum, this is prior to the Morena Party pick, who considers him a mentor and was the former mayor of Mexico City, or Xochitl Galvez, an opposition senator and tech entrepreneur. Final results are later today, but victory for Morena has been claimed. During his term, Almo famously nationalized Mexico lithium reserves. Very base, very base. Renationalized the oil that was being privatized by the former U.S.-backed neoliberal president, raised the minimum wage, expanded social programs, and also regularly spoke out in favor of pardoning journalist and publisher Julian Assange. Almo also refused to cave in to Washington's threat and bullying following an independent foreign policy characterized by many as anti-establishment. He regularly calls out U.S. hypocrisy and attempts to use Mexico as his colony. Sheinbaum was leading by 20 points before the election began. So there you have it. Some optimistic words coming from Fiorella Isabel in regard to this election here with regard to the new president. And let's hope and wish her the best of luck, and hope that she'll be an excellent president, and and hopefully not succumb to pressures by Washington D.C. You know how that can be. I don't really know this person, but Nasser Fazel says Claudia Sheinbaum is Mexico's first female president. Climate scientist, feminist, leftist, and pro-Palestinian Jew. That's important. She has a PhD and shared a Nobel Prize. Her Republican U.S. neighbors will not attend her inaugurations. Who cares? Congratulations, Mexico. Congratulations, President Claudia. And I quite agree. I approve of the outcome. So let's basically go to the background a little bit on Claudia Sheinbaum, because I think that sort of thing would be kind of important. So back to Claudia. Here we go. Here, basically, Claudia Sheinbaum was born in 1962 in Mexico City to a secular Jewish family. And as stated, she is pro-Palestinian. And the reason I think that is important is basically the diffuse stereotype that if you go and criticize Israel, you're therefore anti-Semitic. And to let people know in the world that there are Jewish voices, many Jewish voices, who oppose the evil done by Benjamin Netanyahu and his right-wing government. And so this is very important right there. And she is a voice against that injustice that's going on right now. She was the mayor of two cities, Tlalpan and Mexico City. She's known for her support for reproductive rights, LGBTQ rights, the environment, that sort of thing. And she was a professor at the National Autonomous University of Mexico. So That's basically her resume. Now, what does this mean in terms of U.S. foreign policy? And that remains the question, because when it comes to U.S. foreign policy, they have not been very friendly to progressive, or dare I say, left of center, or even well far left of center governments that come into being. Whether we're talking about Cuba, whether we're talking about Jamaica under Michael Manley, whether we're talking about Chile under Salvador Allende, or well known today with Venezuela under Hugo Chavez, and currently Nicolas Maduro. I mean, and any country in the Western Hemisphere that's perceived as a threat, the United States likes to make trouble for them. And I remember 1980s very well when the Sandinistas took over Nicaragua. What's happened at that time, and which I will have a lot to say about that when I talk about the Trump trial verdict. That they went after Trump in ways that they didn't go after Reagan and Bush, or went after Bush and Cheney, but they went after the Orange Man for something far lesser than that. So there is that. But we know how the U.S. like to behave in the Western Hemisphere to countries that acts in an unorthodox way in the eyes of what is called the Washington Consensus. And so if you don't play ball 100% with the U.S., they know how to make trouble for people that don't play ball. And not just the U.S., obviously around the world. I mean, it's just it's just what they will do. I mean, and whether we're talking, as I said, I mean, the three countries in the 1970s, four countries that come into the 1970s in mind, I think of is Chile, Chile, Salvador Allende's Chile. They toppled. Let's see. Michael Manley's government in Jamaica, they attempted and failed. The U.S. failed, thankfully. They're responsible, more than likely, the rumor for the New Zealand Prime Minister, Neil Kirk. He was found dead in 1974. He was found dead in 1974. And he was, and it was just too much of a coincidence. It was just too much of a coincidence that that he was basically challenging, the U.S. with the nuclear weapons testing in the South Pacific at that time, and of course, that comes close to home and all of that, and so they basically thought of him as some kind of a subversive, and the rumors were that he was basically I'm trying to put it in a way where I won't get in trouble. Permanently removed as prime minister in a very CIA sort of way. That's probably the best way to put it. That's probably the best way to word it, because to not word it that way, how it is with how we censor. So, and there's also the Prime Minister of Australia. Good Lord, what's his name? I cannot think of the man's name right this moment. I cannot think of his name. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, the man that brought Medibank to Australia, universal healthcare to Australia in the 1970s. that they found a way to have him step down as prime minister. So as they don't always do things as openly as what they did in Chile. They'll do things as subtle, possibly, as what they did in places like New Zealand, or they'll go and try to destroy the reputation of someone, like they did with. And I cannot think of the name of the Australian Prime Minister. Yeah, but either for some reason. But they did the same thing. They tried to the CIA would do. This is the sort of thing that they would do. So what I'm basically saying is that they will go and try to they'll try to remove somebody who's going to be considered a threat, and so I think they would do that in the in Canada, if let's say if the NDP were to replace the Liberal government, for example. So that's basically what I'm talking about right there too. So it comes down to personalities and that sort of thing. So go Whitlam. That's it. I'm sorry. I was trying to search in the back of my mind the name of the prime minister. Go Whitlam from Australia. I'm sorry. I had a brain fart. So anyway, and that's not even who we're talking about. So I congratulate Claudia Sheinbaum. She would have been the one I would have favored had I lived in Mexico as a voter. And I hope to see her government succeed, and I hope to see things flourish. There are areas where other areas too, like the border crisis, that you got politicians in the United States that wants to be very reactionary toward people who cross the border and all of that. I mean, there are politicians talking about putting troops and even suggesting doing some kind of invasions of Mexico, which is totally fucked up. And I hope that she will call them out on this. I will hope that this so-called USA-Mexico trade agreement, which was basically NAFTA by a new name, could be torn up, because that treaty was supposed to be a treaty that Donald Trump said NAFTA was no good. And basically what it turned out to be was the same old NAFTA with different language. He may have wanted it to be a new treaty, but he had a lot of establishment people who wanted it to keep it the same. And that's what happened with that treaty. So really there was not much change other than window dressing. So so much for being anti-establishment when it comes to Trump. But where there is a real anti-establishment is down in Mexico, because they've actually added public services, and to their system. They are in the process of having a created universal healthcare system that they previously didn't have as recently as 20 years ago. So Mexico is going to be Mexico's got a bright future ahead. They really do. And in some ways, even if any discrepancy, any crisis, dilemmas about border crossings will naturally stop when the Mexican economy is going to in itself improve because of better policies that have been governing Mexico in the last few years. Not perfect policies, because you can't have perfect governments anywhere. I mean, there's always this thing called human nature that will step into the way. But they have actually made some serious progress that we Americans just haven't seen here quite yet. We're basically 50 to 100 years behind just Western nations in Europe and, and all of that when it comes to things like healthcare. So, I mean, so here's where is a WTF moment. But, you got countries, in south of the border that they have a universal healthcare system, functioning universal healthcare system. And it would be nice if we could have one here too. We'd love it. So there's no death penalty in Mexico. Of course, that's been a thing since the 1970s. So in some ways, Mexico is more progressive. In some ways, there are some areas where Mexico is maybe less progressive too. So, and, as I said, all I can say is I wish her the very best of luck and all of that. And I will go and say hello to everyone here on the chat line. And as I said hello to Warren. I hope you're doing well. And Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights, my friend. How are you doing today? So, yeah, I know, as I said, I started this at really late because I slept all damn day long. Yeah, I know. I got up and I tweeted a little bit. That's what I do. Then I went back to sleep for an hour or two or three here and there. Then I got up and I shaved and showered and I went to Denny's and it was packed in there. That's partly why I got late with my video here, because it was very noisy. There was a very large church crowd in there tonight, and I could not hear myself think. So there is also that. Let's see. There is an ALF marathon in Japan. Excuse me. Hold on. There's an ALF in Japanese marathon going on YouTube. Yep. ALF. One of my favorite shows with ALF in the title. Well, it's not in the title, but it was a nickname title. An alternative title was ALF and Family in the UK, but it was his proper name was Till Death Us Do Part, and it got Americanized into the TV show All in the Family. And I highly recommend for everyone to watch that series if you can. You can find some full episodes on YouTube. So, Alf liked to eat pussy cats. Yeah, I remember that show very well. He did. Yep. That was Alf. Yep. 80s television. Yep, I remember that quite a bit. Yep. Alf was always after that pussy. It's for damn sure. But it suffice to say, I will probably do another video probably in a couple of hours. I got some shit I got to do on my night off, but y'all stick around and maybe in 4 or 5 hours, maybe earlier than that. You never know. I'll come up with another video. So anyway, if you like what you heard, please press like and comment. Comment anyway if you disagree with what I have to say. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Also, reject corporate media. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. On YouTube, Twitch, and all my other platforms. Follow me on Twitter for damn sure. It's called Twitter, as far as I'm concerned. It's not X. Fuck Elon Musk. And remember, always to do this, to free Palestine, free Julian Assange, free healthcare for all, and of course, to protect absolute freedom of speech. Y'all take care. I will see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.